Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into the wildly polarizing world of the 528 Hz frequency. We're going to separate viral internet lore from actual peer-reviewed science. I mean, we hear so much about sound healing these days, right? But how much of it actually holds up under a microscope? Let's find out. Okay, so let's just start with the absolute massive claim that's probably flooded your social media feeds or wellness blogs at some point. Can a single, specific sound frequency actually reach into our cells, heal the human body, and literally repair our DNA? It's a huge question. You've got public health experts like Dr. Leonard Horowitz totally championing this idea. Proponents believe 528 Hz holds these profound physical benefits. But on the flip side, critics are very quick to hit the brakes, pointing out that there is zero established scientific consensus in the mainstream community to back up these exact specific claims of DNA repair. So we're left with this fascinating divide. To get to the bottom of all this, we're going to follow a quick roadmap. We'll start with a miracle tone myth, then look at the origins of solfeggio frequencies, do a scientific reality check out a fascinating rat brain experiment, explore hormones and sound waves, and finally, look at the behavioral blueprint. All right, part 1, the miracle tone myth, exploring Dr. Horowitz's claims. Let's dig into what the proponents are actually asserting here. So, Dr. Leonard Horowitz, he's got backgrounds in dental medicine and public health, really put this idea on the map, calling 528 Hz a literal miracle tone. He suggests it can promote bodily balance and actually repair DNA. And proponents are all in on these cellular healing abilities. Mainstream scientists, however, impartially note that these specific DNA repair mechanisms just remain unproven in broad, peer-reviewed literature. Because of that, it's a highly controversial topic in the traditional scientific community. Moving on to part 2, origins of solfeggio frequencies, the ancient roots of 528 Hz. Let's set the modern controversy aside for just a second. Where did this specific frequency actually come from? It's actually a wild story how a medieval musical framework transformed into today's wellness trend. It starts way back in the 6th century when Pope Gregory I organized Roman Catholic liturgical chants. Then, fast forward to the 11th century, a monk named Guido of Arezzo writes a hymn that creates a 6-note scale. And today, those ancient notes are known as the solfeggio frequencies, which includes 528 Hz, and they've emerged as this core pillar of modern sound healing. And this is where the music math gets really cool. It brilliantly illustrates the difference between that ancient system and the music we hear on the radio today. See, the solfeggio scale is based on a just intonation tuning system. It uses mathematically pure whole number frequency ratios to produce perfectly harmonious intervals. That's totally unlike the standard C major scale we use today, which uses an equal temperament system dividing the octave into 12 equal parts. That actually results in intervals that are slightly dissonant to the ear. Oh, and just to be perfectly clear, before we hit the lab, I want to clear up a super common misconception. You'll often see them bundled together online, but the solfeggio scale and 432 Hz tuning are completely different musical concepts. The solfeggio scale is a specific set of 6 distinct frequencies. 432 Hz, on the other hand, is just a general tuning pitch standard that you can apply to any musical scale. Okay, part 3. The scientific reality check, pivoting from lore to laboratory. Look, while there might not be scientific consensus that 528 Hz repairs DNA, that definitely doesn't mean it has zero biological effect. Before we look at the actual lab data, we've got to introduce the biochemical villain of our story, reactive oxygen species, or ROS. These are unstable molecules produced naturally during normal metabolism. But when you have too many of them, they cause highly destructive damage to our cells and biomolecules. It's basically the biological wear and tear we all experience. So logically, reducing ROS is a huge win for your overall health. Which brings us to part 4, the rat brain experiment, testing 528 Hz on mammalian biology. To see if sound can actually fight this biological villain, we're looking at a fascinating 2018 peer-reviewed study that examined the neurological impacts of 528 Hz on rats. So researchers carefully set this up to isolate the variables. They placed 20 male rats in a highly controlled sonic chamber for 21 days, exposing them to the 528 Hz tone for exactly 2 hours a day. Think of it as a mandatory ambient drone listening session for the rats. To see if the volume mattered, they tested 3 varying intensities, 80, 100, and 120 decibels, and then measured all of this against a silent control group. The data here is absolutely stunning. When you look right at that 100 decibel mark, the 528 hertz frequency caused a massive, statistically significant reduction of those destructive ROS molecules in the brain tissue compared to both the control group and the other volume levels. The sound wave quite literally physically reduced oxidative stress in the brain. No way, right? Part 5. Hormones and sound waves, the biochemical chain reaction. So how does a sound wave actually reduce cellular stress? The secret is a biochemical chain reaction that connects sound directly to hormones. This is just incredible data storytelling right here. Step 1, the 100 decibel sound hits the ear. This physical wave then triggers a surge in the expression of specific genes called STAR and SF1. At the exact same time, it suppresses an enzyme that usually degrades testosterone. Because production goes up and degradation goes down, overall testosterone levels in the brain rise significantly. And the real kicker? Testosterone acts as a powerful antioxidant in the brain, which perfectly explains that huge drop in cellular stress. Finally, Part 6, the behavioral blueprint, how brain chemistry alters action. We've got lower cellular stress and higher brain testosterone. But the last piece of the scientific puzzle is, did this new brain chemistry actually change how the animals behaved in real life? So the researchers used what's called an elevated plus maze. It basically measures anxiety based on how much time a rat is willing to spend exposed out in the open arms of the maze. And they proved that this hormonal boost directly correlated with behavior. At 100 decibels, the rats showed a significant increase in open arm time. The 528 hertz sound wave literally altered their chemistry to make them braver and less stressed, significantly decreasing their anxiety-related behaviors. So, while sweeping claims of universal DNA repair might lack scientific consensus right now, the lab data is clear. 528 hertz can biologically reduce cellular stress and anxiety in mammals. It certainly leaves us all wondering, if a specific frequency can alter a rat's brain chemistry so drastically, what undiscovered symphony of sound is silently shaping human biology right now? Something to think about.